Hello everyone. In our last video, we had learnt about numbers which exist in the form of a ratio p by q. They were called rational numbers, and rational numbers are actually a combination of integers and fractions. So then a question arises in our mind. If there are numbers which exist in the form p divided by q, are there any numbers which do not exist in such a form? Or can we say that there are numbers which are not rational numbers? Yes, there are such numbers which cannot be represented in the form p by q. These numbers are called irrational numbers. Let us have a look at a few examples of irrational numbers. But before that, you might think that how an irrational number actually looks like. So, let us first learn how to identify irrational numbers. We can do so by looking at their decimal expansions. Their decimal expansions are always non-repeating and non-terminating. For example, let's take root over 2. The decimal expansion of root 2 is 1.414 and so on. It neither terminates nor do the digits repeat after the decimal place. Now let us look at another example of an irrational number, which is the constant called pi. This pi is basically the ratio between the circumference and diameter of a circle, and its decimal expansion is 3.141 and so on. The other examples of irrational numbers are root 3, root 5, root 6, root 7 and so on. But why are these square root values irrational? And is it that square root of any number is irrational? No, this is not the case. Do note that the value of square root 4 is either plus 2 or minus 2, which is a rational number, and hence root over 4 is not an irrational number. Similarly, if we take root over 0.16, 0.16 can be simplified to get 0.4 or minus 0.4, which is again rational, which means root over 0.16 is not an irrational number. So this is the basic idea of how we can identify irrational numbers. One thing we need to keep in mind while multiplying irrational numbers is that an irrational number, when multiplied by any real number, may give us varied results. For example, if we take the irrational numbers root 2 and pi and we try to multiply it with a rational number, say 3, then 3 into root 2 will give us an irrational number, and pi into 3 will also give us an irrational number, which means that an irrational number, when multiplied with a rational number, always gives us an irrational number. Now suppose we want to multiply an irrational number with an irrational number itself. We will do so with the help of the given irrational numbers. Both of these are irrational numbers. So what we'll do is, we will multiply both these irrational numbers, which are pi and root 2. So pi into root 2 again gives us an irrational number. Now, if we multiply pi with itself, it will give us pi square, which is again an irrational number. But if we multiply root 2 with root 2, which means root 2 square, it will give us 2, which is a rational number. So what we learnt is that an irrational number, when multiplied with a rational number, always gives us an irrational number. But an irrational number, when multiplied by another irrational number, may either give us an irrational number or a rational number. Now, as we had learnt for rational numbers that between any two rational numbers, there lie infinite rational numbers, we will check the same thing for irrational numbers. We will take any two irrational numbers, for example root 2 and root 3. So suppose we take these two numbers and we want to find a number which lies between these two. So what can we do? We will find the average of these two numbers. So basically what happens is, average is the sum of the two numbers divided by 2. So when you add these two numbers, you will get an irrational number, and when you divide that irrational number by 2, then it will again give an irrational number. So we can see that the number that we found between these two numbers is also an irrational number. Now since you have 3 irrational numbers in total, you can find the numbers between any two of these. So you can find the average between any two of these and you will always get an irrational number. So in this manner, what you can do is that you can find n number of irrational numbers. Hence, we can conclude that between any two irrational numbers, there lie infinite irrational numbers. And we already knew that between any two rationals lie infinite rational numbers. So what we can conclude is that on the number line there exist infinite rational and irrational numbers. And if we combine the set of rational numbers and irrational numbers, the combined set we get is called the set of real numbers. All real numbers can be represented on the number line. Actually, every point on the number line is represented by a real number. Therefore, we call this number line as a real number line. So now, basically we know what real numbers are. They are a combination of rational numbers and irrational numbers. And all rational or irrational numbers can be represented on the real number line. But do we know how to plot irrational numbers on the number line? So we will take the example of an irrational number, √2, and we will see how we can plot it on the number line. This method which we are going to discuss is not a method by which you can plot any number on the number line. This method only applies to the irrational number √2, or you can find other basic irrational numbers such as √3, √5, √6 and √7 using a similar approach. So let's get to it. Suppose you take a square of side 1 meter each. What you do is, you place the square on a number line in such a manner that two of its adjacent vertices lie on the points 0 and 1 of the number line. Now what you do is, you join two of the opposite vertices of the square by drawing a straight line, and one of the vertices will be the one which lies on the point 0. So now the straight line you get is a diagonal of this square. But how will you find the length of this diagonal? So we know that all angles of a square is 90 degrees, and this diagonal divides the square into two equal halves. So if we take out one equal half, what we will get is a right angle triangle with two sides of 1 meter each, and the third side is the hypotenuse. So how will we find the length of the hypotenuse? We can find it by applying the Pythagoras theorem, which says that hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus height square. So we can take the base and height as 1 meter each, and we can find the hypotenuse as hypotenuse equal to √1 square plus 1 square, which gives us √2. So we get the length of the hypotenuse, or we can say that the diagonal of the square as √2 meters. So now, since one of the points of this line segment already touches 0, so if we rotate this line segment in such a manner that it coincides with the number line, the point where it ends is the point where we can mark √2 on the number line. Isn't that amazing? So now, since I've given you an idea about the Pythagoras theorem and you already know about irrational numbers, so let us see an interesting geometric figure which is related to these concepts. This is called the square root spiral. Doesn't the name sound interesting? So let us learn about it. Suppose you take two perpendicular arms of 1 meter each and you want to draw a hypotenuse. So what will be the length of the hypotenuse? You will find it using the Pythagoras theorem. That will be √1 square plus 1 square, which is equal to √2. So we get the hypotenuse as √2. Now we will draw a line segment of 1 meter which will be perpendicular to this line segment of √2 meters. Now taking these two as the perpendicular arms, if we draw the hypotenuse, the length of the hypotenuse will again be according to the Pythagoras theorem. This time it will be √2 square plus 1 square, which is √3. So now we have got √3. Again we will draw a line segment of 1 meter which will be perpendicular to this line segment of √3 meters. So again we will find the length of the hypotenuse using the Pythagoras theorem. This time we will get √4. Basically √4 is not an irrational number, so we can write it as 2 because √4 is 2. So we saw that how we can find consecutive square root values using this pattern. So in this video, we learnt about irrational numbers, how to identify them. We saw a few examples of irrational numbers, and we also saw how to plot them on the number line. Finally, we saw the square root spiral. I hope you liked this video. Thank you.